Hello. We're back in this Groundhog Day type situation, but it's not really the Groundhog Day situation. Because with Groundhog Day, it was just Bill Murray was repeating the same day, Groundhog Day, over and over and over again. Whereas we have been going on with the days, but our memory has been tampered with, so we think that it's just been the same day over and over again. Which I didn't really see that option when we had to be quizzed on it by the little girl, but you know what, whatever. But since I last played, there has been an update where they gave away over 1,000 Primo Gems. So I have enough of the Intertwined Fates that I can do a 10 roll. So let's go ahead and do 10 wishes and see if we can get Sino, maybe Venti, maybe someone else, or maybe someone else. I don't know. Let's just see. Gold, please. Gold, please. Gold, please. Of course I wouldn't get gold. This is me we're talking about. It was surprising when I got Mona. It was surprising when I got Chi-Chi or Zhongli. That's all I've ever gotten. And yeah, I always see pictures on like Twitter or something of, oh yeah, we got another Rosaria. I always see pictures of people that do rolls where they get like 3 characters and one of them is gold. And I'm always like, where's mine? I barely get these types of rolls. Is Rosaria the only? Yep. That's disappointing to me. Well, I guess we can send her to the next level, but we never even use her. I mean, I do have plenty of characters. It's just, I only have five characters. One is who you start with. One was a handout. It's just like the more you see that you don't get it, the more disappointing it feels. But no, turn around. Anyway, we got to solve this whole little Groundhog Day, not really Groundhog Day situation problem thing. I don't know how to describe it. Well then, on we go to, I don't know where I'm going. Am I going to the bazaar? Ask around for clues about the current situation. Yeah, we got to find out why, for everybody in Sumeru City, why do the days keep repeating in our minds? Oh, that's right.
Hey, it's you guys again. Where's your cultured friend?
Feeling very sick.
She's feeling a little unwell.
Extremely unwell.
I see. Did you come back to buy something? I guarantee the freshness of my products. I harvested them from the forest just yesterday.
Have you felt anything strange lately?
Huh? What brought this about? I hurried back from the forest yesterday, and I'm selling produce here today.
Wait, how is this produce still good?
Strange.
You would think that his produce would be getting worse by the day.
Put it another way, if you really think about it, was yesterday truly yesterday? Did you actually come back from
that's not
the
gonna work.
forest yesterday?
Paimon, it's not going to work.
Philosophical nonsense is this?
Exactly.
Are you two daydreaming?
No. Something's going on, and
Didn't you know
probably
that
can't
no
tell.
one dreams in Sumeru? Go somewhere else if you want to find someone to daydream with.
Ooh. Before we continue, I just remembered something else that's going on since the update is there's also a special event going on where it basically recaps all the stuff that you've done so far. And there's the little creatures, the little wood type creatures that look like they stole it out of Legend of Zelda, Wind Waker. They're called like Aranara, something like that. And the description that I gave during those, because I was paying attention and actually reading that, was that they control dreams and memories, but they always scurry away from us whenever we see them, but we always see them. So maybe the thought here is whatever experiment the academia is doing or whoever is doing is controlling them to control the memories of everybody in this city. At least that's what I'm thinking.
He actually has a point. mind. Is this a dream? Is everyone dreaming?
Remember what he said just now. No one dreams in Sumeru.
True. It's so weird that people here don't dream. Why is that? Anyway, if this all really were just a dream, we would have woken up a long time ago. Let's keep asking around.
Okay, I guess we can keep going around talking to people, expecting to get a different answer, but not. Saw to him.
Oh, it's you two. Was my divination so accurate that you felt compelled to compliment me in person?
We actually did run into a situation, but I'm not sure if it's related to your divination. Hey, nice rhymes.
Ooh, I knew it! I told you, the god's divination is highly accurate. You just hadn't fully understood its significance yet.
Sure.
You're really excited about this, huh? That's exactly why we came back. Help us better understand it.
Please.
Help you better understand it? Well, that isn't exactly what I excel at.
So,
Why
you're
not?
admitting that you don't have a clue?
Anyway, what kind of
Wow,
situation
he
did
dodged
you
that
get
quick.
into?
We're all trapped in the Sub-Zero Festival. You've actually divined our fortune many, many times.
Huh? Hold on a second. I thought you guys just lost your wallet or fell for a scam.
Nope.
What you just said, are you serious? Does that kind of thing actually happen in real life?
Apparently.
I knew you weren't going to believe it.
Marvelous. Truly marvelous. I believe you.
Wow.
Recall the interpretation of your divination, the moon, illusions, and lies. It really felt like an omen.
When you say it like that, the divination does sound like it's related to what's going on. Can you read any more into it?
I believe that the Archon's revelations are never more than vague hints. Anything more specific is beyond the reach of mere mortals. The book only says, if you trust your instincts and overcome your fears, the sun will surely rise.
So that's how it is. Looks like fortune telling is just fortune telling. It's no good for practical problems.
No, I think he gave us a good hint.
Haven't made any progress.
Follow our instincts.
Who else can we talk to?
Let's try talking to Thea again.
Paimon remembers that we tried talking to her a couple of times, but she always thinks we're playing pranks on her. You think she'll brush us off again?
Let's try taking her to see the real Dunyarzad.
Yeah.
Zod.
If we tap into Dia's strong sense of responsibility as a mercenary, then she'll definitely take us seriously. At this time of day, Dia's probably just finished beating up those kidnappers. Let's go find her.
Let's go. Where we go? I think this way? It's not giving us the trail of stars to follow. So I'm not completely sure. I think we go this way, up and around. If it's not, I'm going to have to glide down to wherever it is. Especially because I keep going up right now. Shoot, where do we go? Lower. Oh, are we going to the bench area? I guess.
I'm fine, my lady. It's just a scratch.
Yeah, it's not your lady.
Perfect timing. Both of you are here.
Hi,
Not really.
Traveler, you came at just the right time. Listen, there was a dangerous
A gang of
Huh?
kidnappers
You
ambush
saw?
you.
Then why didn't you jump in earlier? If someone was protecting Miss Dunyarzad, I could have went all out. Anyway, can you do something for me?
You want the traveler to take Dunyarzad somewhere to rest up while you check to see if there's still any kidnappers around. Did Paimon get that right?
Way to drop
How
that
did you
ball
know
there,
what I was
Paimon.
going to say?
Because we've been through it a lot of times.
We need to say something convincing.
Dia's Claymore, abnormal mental fatigue. People for Sumeru do not dream. Let's talk about her claymore.
Dia sold her greatsword to raise additional funds. And then she was injured because she wasn't used to her new weapon.
Okay. Is that conclusion?
Tell her, Traveler!
You got injured because you aren't used to your current greatsword. You sold your greatsword to support the festival. There we go.
I didn't tell anyone about that, including Miss Dunyarzad. You couldn't have known. And just now, you literally took the words right out of my mouth. What's
Sorry,
going on?
that's unsanitary.
All right, so this is the situation.
Tell her, Paimon. You explain everything to Dia.
It's kinda hard to believe what you just told me. First, let me make something clear. Most of us desert dwellers might not be the scholarly type, but we do have basic common sense.
Haven't you noticed anything off about Dunyarzad?
She's quieter than usual, uninterested in anything, and really gloomy.
Yeah, she isn't the same as before, but
You wanted to go
parents
see the
said
real
that
one?
This is how she was like at first.
Do you want to go see the real one?
Huh? At first?
I don't quite understand what you're all talking about. I'll go rest on the bench over there.
My lady, are you angry?
Come with me. I'll show you some evidence.
All right, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt since you knew about my greatsword. Let's make this a quick trip. Miss Dunyarzad isn't completely safe here.
Well, of course, but she's also not safe where she is right now. Which is kind of a sick bay left out in the open, I guess. I think. That's how it kind of seems. You mean I went in a whole freaking circle? Wow, she was like right there and I just went the wrong way. I know I'm going the right way this time. I remember this path. I don't know. I'm trying to sing or doo or anything. Hold up. I'll take those foods. I've realized I haven't cooked anything in a long time in this game. In real life, I had put hibachi chicken on rice with sweet carrots for lunch. But in game, I haven't cooked anything in a long time.
Nahida, we brought a friend. Are you busy?
Why is Dea looking this way?
I thought
Or
I
Dia?
told you that it won't help to bring anyone here.
We just wanted her to see the real Dunyarzad's condition.
Now, if you look to
Real
your left,
Dunyarzad? Where and who are you talking to?
look to your left. To your left. To your left.
I told you that you two are special. Other people can't see me or Miss Dunyarzad here.
How about we tell her, put her hands right here. You could feel something that shouldn't be there. Oh, she can sense, can't she?
Hold on. Over there. Is that?
You can see her?
Wow, how perceptive. Does she have invisible antennae?
Miss Dunyarzad, she's lying down here, isn't she? How's she doing?
Her condition's really bad, and she's basically in a coma. How did you know she was here?
I can sense her aura. There are also lingering feelings of something like regret or disappointment.
That she's running out of time.
What happened?
Do you believe us now? The Sub-Zero's festival has been repeating itself.
You begin discussing the issue with Dea,
So,
only
you think the
who finally
sages are
understands.
behind this?
Yeah, they've always been against us. Wouldn't surprise
who?
me if they're using the Akasha to intentionally repeat the Sub-Zero's festival as a sick joke.
You have a point. Aside from the Dendro Archon, the Academia's sages are the only ones in Sumeru who could pull off something like this. Maybe there's more to the Akasha than we know.
Nahida, Can you tell us anything about the Akasha?
Right! Didn't you awaken our memories using something that looked like a knowledge capsule? That means you must know something about the Akasha!
Not necessarily, though.
The Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to operate, as it is the manifestation of the God of Wisdom's power. It compiles the wisdom of the entire populace, and it grants knowledge to the people.
A gnosis could do that? No wonder the Akasha is so magical. It's being powered by the gnosis of Sumeru's Archon.
So, this Nahida you mentioned, what did she say?
She said, and Paimon quotes, "The Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to operate, as it is the manifestation of the God of Wisdom's power. It compiles the wisdom of the entire populace and it grants knowledge to the people."
Compiles the wisdom of the entire populace and grants knowledge to the people. Wait.
It rings a bell. What's up?
I get the grants knowledge part. That's what people have always used the Akasha for. But compiling the entire populace's wisdom? How does that work?
Did she mean that the sages enter new knowledge into the Akasha?
Most information from the Akasha comes from Irminsul.
Oh, yeah. That sounds about right. What do you think?
I don't know is the thing. Interpret.
Okay. Nahida said the Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to operate, as it is the manifestation of the God of Wisdom's power. It compiles the wisdom of the entire populace, and it grants knowledge to the people.
Okay. Let me interpret this
People
one.
in Sumeru don't dream. What a strange phenomenon.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do with these.
That doesn't sound right. I need to... Okay.
Let's try this one.
Okay. Nahida said...
No, this one.
That doesn't sound right. People in Sumeru don't dream.
No, this one!
My
Shoot.
mind feels exhausted, even though I haven't done too much thinking. What is going on?
That's not going to be it. Let's try the deja vu.
What's happening right now seems to have happened before. This feeling has been getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah, we
That
submit
doesn't
this.
sound right.
Guess we
You
submit.
mean the Akasha is causing our mental fatigue? Huh. Now that I think about it, my head's been feeling unusually heavy. When the desert dwellers set off on their quest for knowledge, a sage once said, knowledge always comes at a price. Compiling the entire country's knowledge. You think the Akasha pulled a 180 and is extracting information from us?
But how would it do that?
Who knows? The Akasha can put knowledge into our heads, so who's to say that it can't also poke around in there? We don't know any specifics.
What's the point of doing something like that?
This is the chip everybody was saying was in the
Just think
COVID
about it.
vaccine.
If you could combine the knowledge of every single
It wasn't
person in
in there,
Sumeru,
but
then
still.
you can basically turn Sumeru City into a single massive brain. This hive mind could make breakthroughs in problems that even the smartest geniuses can't crack.
Basically, the thing that we wear in our ears, I forget what they're called. That's the iPhones. That's the chips that we carry with us, not the ones that were inserted to us with the vaccine. Sorry to be political about it, but literally, if the government wants to keep tabs on us, we make it easy for them. We didn't have to. They didn't have to do anything to a vaccine. We have smartphones.
An excellent deduction. And the analogy comparing Sumeru City to a massive brain? I love it.
In that case,
That's definitely
we should take off
Kusanali,
our
I
Akasha
swear.
terminals right away. Maybe that'll solve this problem.
Somehow, I don't think it'll be that
Yeah.
simple.
I was only wearing this for show in the first place. Didn't expect the sages to cook up such a conspiracy. Mark my words. When this is over, I'm getting evidence and exposing this whole thing to the public.
I would love to help. Everyone removes their Akasha terminals.
How does everyone feel?
Actually, I noticed something else.
Huh? What is it?
There's always the sound of a beep.
Oh, that! Paimon knows what you're talking about. It's a single soft beep that sounds like it's coming from the Akasha terminal.
The
Yeah, with
sound
somebody
of a
talking.
Beep. Could it be a prompt tone for when the Akasha is operating?
I heard the same sound in Port Ormos.
That's probably an important clue. We weren't using our terminals, but we heard a beep anyway.
There it is.
Traveler, did you hear that?
I did.
I heard it too. Our ears aren't messing with us. There was definitely a beep, but it sounded like it was coming from inside my head.
Did they already
Took
implant
off
what they
our
needed?
Akasha terminals.
How? Well,
Phase runtime has exceeded its expected length. At this rate, there may be casualties.
so stop.
But we cannot lose all of our progress.
Yeah, just sacrifice everybody for it. You typical. We're not starting in the same place. Well, we're starting in the same place, but not back where we would start each day.
You adapted quickly this time.
At the end of last night,
We definitely took off our Akasha terminals last night, but we still heard that beep. Why is that?
we've been implanted with another form of terminals.
But now we can at least confirm one thing.
What?
The Akasha definitely has something to do with whatever's trapping us in this cycle.
Oh, I knew that.
Paimon doesn't get it. Why would the Akasha go this far if all it wants is everybody's wisdom?
They want more than
It's
wisdom.
extremely difficult for lab rats in an experiment to understand why they're being treated the way they are.
If we're lab rats, then what are you? Nahida, you've never told us anything about yourself.
Nikita's not a real name.
I guess I'm the moon.
The moon? Wasn't that the result of our divination?
That's
Anyway, knowing who I am won't help you get closer to the truth. So
I can
you
see
should
that.
focus on other things. Don't get distracted and miss any clues.
Okay then. Dia helped us a lot yesterday, so let's go find her. If Paimon's reading the time correctly, those kidnappers should be showing up soon.
and go through the whole process.
Ah, there you are. I've already taken care of those kidnappers. My lady, did you get hurt?
Hold on, something's not right.
Dia?
What's wrong? Why are you both gawking at me like that?
You didn't get hurt this time.
Huh? What do you mean this time? Why are you so surprised that I managed to get out unscathed? Those kids were amateurs.
Aren't you still getting used to your new greatsword? Your unfamiliar usually lands you some scratches.
Shh! How did you know about my greatsword? I haven't told anyone about it. Please, don't tell Miss Dunyarzad.
She's not even here.
So Dia's lost her memories after all.
During your battle, did you feel anything strange during your battle?
Anything strange? You already know that I got a new greatsword. If I had to say something, it's weird how such a new weapon could feel so...
Her mind is starting to
familiar.
adapt to what's actually going on. Not
It's as
completely,
if
but it's starting to.
I've already used it to fight a countless number of battles.
See?
You're saying that although you don't remember using it, your body feels like it does?
That's exactly what she's saying, Paimon.
That's right. Both mercenaries and warriors heavily rely on muscle memory. Only knowing the theory of battle won't get you anywhere.
Traveler, what do you think?
Could it be because we removed our Akasha terminals?
Yeah, Paimon's feeling really hopeful.
Is it possible that we have already broken free?
Oh, you're right! Earlier
Well, know for sure at the end of the day.
I have no clue what you two are talking about, but it's still dangerous here, so...
So you want us to take Dunyarzad somewhere else to rest while you check if there are still more kidnappers around, right?
How
That's
did
right.
you know what I was gonna say? Can you read minds?
No, just been there, done that.
Get it. Go and do your thing.
Go through all the process again. Are we just going to keep going through until we wake up one day knowing that none of this is true? And hope that maybe Dia also knows?
Whew. It's finally nighttime. Aside from Dia not getting injured, everything seems to have stayed the same. Listen, Nahida, we found out that Dia got out just fine today, even though she got injured every other time she fought the kidnappers. Do you think the Samsara has been broken? Have we saved Dunyarzad?
No, she's laying right
Really?
there.
Good job on all that progress. Get some good sleep tonight.
Hey, what kind of an answer is that?
Tomorrow
One where
will
she knows
come.
it's not done yet.
Everyone assumes this is common knowledge, but the only way you can know that for sure is if you experience tomorrow. How many todays has it been? Is it possible that today will be followed by yesterday? Does tomorrow truly exist as anything beyond a made-up concept? It's even possible that this
gosh.
entire world is a lie, and the history of the whole world has just been one endless Sub-Zero's festival.
Okay, no more. Paimon's brain is already shut down.
It was up and working before?
That's why it makes no sense to waste your energy thinking about things you will learn tomorrow. Get some good rest. You know, use the bathroom and flush your anxiety dookie away.
What an analogy.
Hold on, what did you just say? Did Paimon
You
read
heard
it
her.
correctly?
You did.
People always say they feel a sense of relief after they take a dook. That's why I suggested you could try that.
They really went there with the
Is that
scripts.
so strange?
It's
A
so
Duke.
strange and so against common sense that Paimon's
Wait, why do we have our
international
Akasha
words.
terminals on?
You were sounding kind of smart just a minute ago.
We're gonna go get some rest. Shouldn't we
Yeah.
take those off immediately?
Even though it's happy and lively at the Sub-Zero's festival every day, it feels like it's been a long time since we've really gotten to relax. Let's go back to our room.
There's a beep again.
Continue the harvest. Compared to what we stand to achieve, these sacrifices are trivial.
You're trivial.
We're still in the same day.
As expected, it's not as simple as we thought.
Nahida, you already knew last night that we didn't break out of the Samsara? Why did you tell us?
Would there have been a point? You would have spent the night with new worries, with tomorrow still out of reach. In that case, you might as well rest within that brief moment of hope. An opportunity like that doesn't come by often, and I thought it might help you clear your minds.
Paimon thought that Duke did that! Whatever. Guess you were looking out for us after all.
Of course. In the time we've been together, you two have been everything to me.
Paimon's flattered and everything, but maybe you're taking things a little fast.
What I mean is, even though I had asked you to solve this puzzle, you two are still the only ones who can see me and sense my presence. In other words, if you weren't here, I may as well not exist.
Aw.
That's why you two have been everything to me. Get it?
Aw.
Nahida's
That's
talking
sad.
about confusing stuff again.
No, she's talking about being lonely.
Anyway, that's enough chit-chat. So, Traveler, did the new clues yesterday help you gain a new understanding of the situation?
The time loop theory is indeed incorrect.
Why are you scrapping your previous theory?
Because fighting skills haven't been improving.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Gosh, how did we not notice that?
It's not a time
In
loop,
simple
it's a memory
time,
reset.
People's physical conditions should also reset.
So, what's your new hypothesis?
Let's see. Interpret.
We've already experienced the Sub-Zerus festival many times, and the day of the festival seems to be in a perpetual samsara.
That's not it.
Okay, Nahida said the Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to operate, as it is the manifestation of the God of Wisdom's power. It compiles the wisdom of the entire populace, and it grants knowledge to the people.
That doesn't sound like it either. Interpret.
The beep is a prompt tone for Akasha operations. We still hear it every night, even though we removed our Akasha terminals.
Bodily memories is probably going to be it.
Mercenaries rely heavily on muscle memory, and Dia was able to use her experiences to avoid injury in later samsara cycles.
These are all rather vague in...
The moon, illusions, and lies. What did they all mean?
I guess still has bodily memories is right because it's highlighted yellow. You select another entry, text to trigger association. Bodily memories. I don't think that's... The connections aren't strong. Hold on. Can we... Yeah, cancel that. Interpret this again.
Nahida said the Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to operate, as...
No.
The moon, illusions, and lies.
Associate. Trigger association.
I can't seem to...
Trigger association? Memories are deleted every day. That would be it.
If all our memories of a day are erased at the end of that day, then we would unwittingly relive the same day again and again.
Mm-hmm. Unless we realize that our calendars are marked off different. That's my conclusion. We aren't in a time loop. Instead, our memories are being erased at the end of each day.
Oh! Then the beep we hear every night could just be indicating the deletion of our memories. That's why when we wake up, everyone thinks the Sub-Zero's festival hasn't happened yet. It's already the next day, but everyone still thinks it's the day before. But muscle memory can't be erased. That's why Dia has been getting better at using her greatsword. Now everything makes sense.
A brilliant deduction.
Yay, we got it right.
Nahida, tell us if we're right or wrong.
To put it simply, it's as if you've mistaken a pyro crystal fly for a firefly in the night. You lost sight of its true nature because you focused too much on your perception that it glows.
That isn't simple at all.
Still the wrong conclusion, huh?
Why don't you go talk to Miss Dia again? You might learn something new.
How much do we have to do
She did help
this?
us find our latest clue after all. Let's go.
Let's go find you. Maybe when she finally remembers, things will change. Are we gonna go meet her at the exact same spot as last time? Let's go over to here. Jump. I would glide, but my stammies are all out. Here we go, right over here. At the exact same spot.
There you are. Really took me a while to find you.
As expected, Dia also didn't get hurt today.
Is she gonna be like,
Her.
huh?
Why would I? Don't underestimate me.
I'm not.
You're still getting used to your new greatsword.
Huh. Truth be told, I also think it's pretty strange. It just suddenly felt so familiar in my hands and... wait a second! How did you know I got a new greatsword to begin with? I didn't tell anyone about it.
Traveler, could you explain the situation to her today? Paimon's gotten a little sick of doing it.
We don't actually need to explain everything. So you suddenly became proficient with your greatsword because we lived through the same day many times already.
What happened to you guys while I was gone? Did you get brainwashed by some cult?
I think everybody in the city's been brainwashed.
Don't think too hard about it. Just take what we're saying at face value.
All right then, let me get this straight. You're telling me that my body's already gotten used to this great sword, but my brain just doesn't remember it?
Yep.
Yes, your memory's being erased every day.
Then I'd have to disagree. That's impossible.
Oh? Why do you think that?
If we've actually been reliving the Sub-Zeru's festival day after day, then what happened to the things we used, the money we spent, the food we ate? Common sense says my wallet should have emptied itself a long time ago. There's no way I wouldn't have noticed that.
I've thought about that too. I actually have, because remember when the guy said he wouldn't have picked out the fruit the day before? I was like, why isn't his fruit rotten? But if the sages were behind this, if they utilize the entire city's resources as well as the information supplied by the Akasha.
Right. They could use the Akasha to record what everyone did that day, and then use the city's resources to replenish everything. It's not very likely, but it's also not impossible.
No, it is impossible. I've got proof.
You have
Show
proof?
us.
Where?
You two are surprisingly serious about this nonsensical discussion. Fine, I'll play along for a little longer. Come with me,
Okay.
Miss Dunyarzad. Please come along as well. I still can't guarantee that this area is safe.
It's okay. She's not real anyway.
Paimon can't believe it's Dia who wants to show us something this time. 2 days ago, we were the ones taking her to see Dunyarzad.
How did she know to have proof, though? Wait, did she know to have proof? Am I even going the right way? Hope I'm not too high. I'm too high. Now I'm too high. Wait, down over here. There it is.
This is it.
Huh? This is a wooden training dummy. What about it?
See those marks on the dummy? Those are the result of several days' worth of practice. Let's say the sages didn't replace it every day. Shouldn't it be hacked to pieces by now?
That's true, but what if they did?
Then the sages would have had to reproduce every mark I left during previous training sessions. I'm a professional fighter. My martial school has always emphasized the importance of refined control. The force, angle, and entry point of each strike is calculated and deliberate. That's why I remember every mark on the dummy, as well as my state of mind as I made each strike.
So we
It's
are in
just
a
as
time
they
loop?
say. Each swordsman has their own unique style, and even the same swordsman can't make the same cut twice. It would be impossible to copy these marks.
Is it really impossible? What if they used some fancy machine to carve every single mark?
People often say that a camera's photo can never replace an artist's painting because the former has no spirit to it. The same thing applies
Wow.
here. At a mere glance, I can differentiate carved marks from the results of combat training.
Seems we'll have to abandon this theory.
I hope that cleared things up for you. Hey, is this that new brain exercise game that's been super popular with the scholars lately?
What?
It's surprisingly fun. Anyway, it's getting late. I should escort Miss Dunyarzad to Nilu's stage. See you later.
Well, back to square one. Is our memory deletion theory also wrong?
Are we just stuck in a perpetual dream? But since our brains are
at
constantly
least we've
thinking,
reached some other conclusions
that's why
in the meantime.
everybody's tired. We're not in the real world.
That's true. So, can we think of any new ideas right now?
Suddenly realize that something is strange.
Strange? Paimon feels like everything's been strange lately.
How come we never thought about leaving the city?
Huh? Leaving the city? You're right! It's really strange how we never thought of such a simple solution! Many things should become clear if we can confirm the flow of time outside of the city. tunnel visioning too hard on our other theories, or because we're just too tired?
It is really
How
strange.
about we go back and ask Nahida? Maybe we've forgotten something about leaving the city.
Okay, we're this way. So we're either in a dream world, or what if we're still in the real world? But the reason why everything doesn't seem the same is because everything seems the same. It's because everything is an illusion. Everybody thinks they're handing over money. They're not handing over money. Dude thinks his fruit is fresh. He's either not handing over fruit, or his fruit is all bad. But we can't smell it because smell is also part of the illusion. I'm betting on dream state.
Nahida, we're back!
You're back early today. Did you find something new?
Yes.
Sort of. We're mostly sure now that we're not in a time loop. And we also aren't in the real world. But at the same time, we have a new question.
What will happen if we try to leave the city?
Leaving the city. As far as I remember, you've mentioned your plans to do that twice before.
Wait, what?
We did? But we don't remember anything. What happened after we talked about those plans? What did we say when we got back?
I bet we reset.
I don't think you ever actually told me what the outcome was. Oh, it's probably more accurate to say that both times you never came back the whole night. But you two sometimes stay out the entire night anyway, so at the time, I didn't think too much about it.
I think we reset is what happens.
It is true that sometimes we lose track of time during our investigations. Before we know it, it'll already be the next day. But still, neither of us remember anything about leaving town.
Really? That's kinda strange. In theory, I should have already awakened all your memories.
Maybe this is the key?
Something here's definitely fishy. Let's get to the bottom of this tomorrow.
I like to solve this before the end of the episode, honestly.
Our memories are back!
Let's go and try to leave the city today.
About that. Well, where should Paimon begin?
Huh? Come on, what do you mean?
Traveler, aside from your memories that were just restored, I have another message for you.
Another message? From who?
Listen to it and you'll understand.
Can't go back. There are countless spaces here. Our Sub-Zeru's festival in Sumeru City is just one of them.
This is my own voice?
Traveler, you should be missing 2 days worth of memories. Paimon will fill you in.
2 days ago.
It's time to carry out our plan from yesterday.
Let's go and try to leave the city
Okay,
today.
let's go.
Oh, we got to play through it? Find a way out. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's do this thing, let's go. Oh, there was a teleport waypoint all the way over here? We got it.
Why can't we leave the city? What is the academia up to now?
Don't ask me. It's not like I can tell you anything. This is a direct order from the Grand Sage. Just wait until tomorrow.
I have a real
we've been doing that.
emergency. My goods have already arrived at Port Ormos. If I don't hurry, they'll be stolen.
That's your problem. Make sure you make a request in advance next time.
But it's not like you can just predict business matters in advance.
It looks like the Academia already announced a lockdown for Sumeru City today. How completely unsurprising. Let's go and question them. Hello, sir. Why can't we leave the city today?
Here we go again. Don't ask me. I don't know either.
Well, if you don't know the
We just
reason,
received an
you don't
order
have a
that no one is
reason to
allowed
stop me.
enter or exit Sumeru today. They didn't tell us anything else.
So the academia doesn't trust you at all?
Angering me won't get you anywhere. If I had that kind of insider info, I would have left this stupid post long ago.
It looks like he really doesn't know. If we can't get anything
We don't have to go
of
out
him,
through the gates.
let's take matters into our own hands. Why don't we climb over the walls? Those guards can't be everywhere at once. This is a good spot, and the guard hasn't noticed us at all. Let's hurry!
Paimon, stay here.
Huh? Why? Are you going to leave Paimon behind?
We need someone to stay and witness events from this side.
But what if things get really weird out there and you get into some trouble? Then Paimon won't be able to help you.
What have you done anyway in the past?
Paimon knows that Paimon can't do much, but we've always been together, haven't we?
If we leave together, it'll just be the same as before.
Okay. Paimon will wait for you. Promise Paimon that you'll come back as soon as possible. Just a quick look.
Okay, okay.
Please, be careful. Memories!
Let's go and try to leave the city today. Oh, she has the memories of it, but he doesn't. What's wrong, Paimon?
Paimon would never see you again. You just disappeared.
He looks like he's playing an invisible instrument.
Waited for you for hours and hours at the city wall, and you never came back. You promised Paimon that you were only taking a quick look.
What did I promise?
Paimon, calm down. He's here now. I don't think he understood what you were saying.
Paimon doesn't care. Paimon wanted to go look for you, but you also said that Paimon should stay. Paimon was so worried and so scared the entire day.
Although I don't remember doing any of this, I won't leave you behind.
Okay. Paimon will forgive you. The most important thing is that you didn't actually disappear. Oh, Paimon was so scared that you had gone into another world.
Again.
Okay. Paimon, can you tell us your perspective of what really happened yesterday?
Paimon, describes your plan from yesterday.
I see. Using two people's different perspectives.
After that, you left the city. Paimon kept her eyes on you the whole time, but then you disappeared in an instant.
You sure that's what you saw? You weren't zoning out or anything?
No way! Paimon was watching you with the fullest attention.
What's your perspective, Traveler? You sure you don't have any memory of this?
Yes, I don't even know that yesterday existed.
I guess that explains everything. You also lost your memories the last 2 times you tried to leave the city. Those days' memories can't be awoken.
So, if we leave the city, our memories will be completely erased?
So they didn't just restrict access to Sumeru's city. They're also erasing memories of those who leave.
It really sounds like something big outside of the city is being hidden on purpose. But this way, we'll also never discover what's outside.
If our memories will be erased, can we leave behind something other than memories?
Something like a message? But how can we send it back?
Don't look at me like that. I'm not used to being stared at. Well... Okay. You want something that can pass on messages, right? Give me some time and take care of Dunyarzad for me.
Yep, now we're
Why do I
talking.
feel like it's going to be canned knowledge? She was gone for the whole day, huh? one that she
I
changed.
made some little changes. Akasha terminals are already capable of sending messages. I just tweaked it so that it could connect to any node.
To make something like this? Nahida, you really know the Akasha like the back of your hand.
Because I believe she's
Anyway,
Kusanali.
we can use this now to record a message, right?
Yep. I'll help you save the messages. It should be pretty easy to use. I just can't guarantee the user's status and signal coverage when they're outside the city.
We'll
Oh, we
never
don't have
know
the phone
until
plan
we
for it.
try. At least we're taking the initiative now.
It's worth a try.
Let's go then. Let's expose those sages.
I still think you should stay.
All right. Paimon isn't as worried about being separated since it happened once yesterday. But Paimon still isn't happy about it.
See you tomorrow, Paimon.
Okay. See you tomorrow, Traveler. That covers everything that's happened so far.
So that message was what I left for myself when I left the city.
Yes. Although the signal was choppy and had some interference, we still managed to receive 2 messages from you when you were outside.
2 of them.
Okay, now that you understand what's going on, let's hear the messages together.
Can't go back. There are countless spaces here. Our Sub-Zeru's festival in Sumeru City is just one of them. I've entered another space. Before me are flowing sandstone and howling fish. Impossible and surreal sights. All these spaces are empty except for the occasional ones that contain mute puppets rather than people. I can't sense any human presence.
What's going down?
That's one heck of an info dump. It sounds like you left the Sumeru city space when you set foot outside of the walls. But everything looked completely normal when Paimon was looking out from the inside. That's unbelievable. And if we take your word for it, the other spaces all had very weird contents.
There's another part here. We only received it last night.
These
Well, it's your-
spaces have been disappearing one after the other, absorbed by something like a sun in the sky.
Is that with the beep?
And now, even the final space has also disappeared. Behind me, a lot of spaces just appeared again from thin air. I get it now. Those spaces are actually...
And then the message. Of course, it wouldn't just let us know.
Why did the message end right there? What did the Traveler want to say? What are those spaces?
Probably because yesterday just happened to end at that moment.
Oh, right.
Yep.
Paimon did hear a beep from the Akasha. Did it come from here or from the message?
From the message.
It should have come from the Traveler's Akasha terminal.
After the beep, Traveler said even the final space has also disappeared.
Traveler, what do you think that final space could have been?
Space where we were yesterday. Interpret.
My impression is that each day in this samsara only ends at the sound of that beep from the Akasha.
That's not what we're looking for.
Was that space actually the real world? But wouldn't a real space just randomly disappearing like that be catastrophic?
Spaces without human presence.
All the bizarre spaces I saw outside the city had one thing in common. A lack of human presence. That doesn't sound right.
Let's try this one then.
Oh, so that's what it is! After the sound of the beep, the final space, the Sub-Zero's festival, also disappears, and we're taken to the next day. Later on, Traveler also mentioned a bunch of new spaces materializing behind them. Do lots of new spaces appear every day? Paimon's head is spinning. Just what are these spaces anyhow?
Well, consider this. For all the horrors of the Archon War, at its heart, it was just a game where a bunch of gods fought over 7 seats. So no matter how strange or spooky things may look on the surface, maybe all they point to in the end is a small and simple secret.
Wow, the Archon War, huh? That's an analogy and a half.
A secret, huh? Give me some time. I need to organize my thoughts.
Hey, where are you going?
Yeah, where am I going? Without Paimon. Huh. Organize your thoughts on the familiar bench in the city. This way. You gotta go this way. We're going to the bench that Ben-Yerzad had sat on after the first day. What if we did go through the Sub-Zero Festival day and they recorded it and now everything's just on repeat from what it's seen from that day? That's what I'm feeling like about to happen.
Do you want some alone time to think? Alright then, Paimon won't disturb you.
Go have one of those charcoal cake things. How much time are we going to waste thinking? It's already evening.
The dance of Sub-Zeros is about to begin. I'm going to go watch it.
The dance is Sub-Zero. It's that time already.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead, Dunyarzad? We still have some other stuff to do first.
Okay then. See you later.
Have you figured it out yet, Traveler? Time is ticking away.
I think I know the answer now.
Awesome! What is it? Paimon wants to know. Oh, wait, no. Let's meet up with Nahida first. You can tell us both together. This time, we're gonna get to the truth.
Why do we have to run all the way over here for it? Now we gotta run all the way back. I'm teleporting. Nope. Here. Teleport. Dude trying to leave again. It'd be nice if we're still stuck in like the same night of sleep, but they're just putting our brains into overdrive. Because imagine how much would be ruined if one area stayed asleep for so long. There would definitely be people dying of starvation, dehydration. Everything that they've ever like ordered, like the merchant would have been taken. He would lose a lot of stuff. Everything would just go wrong.
You're back! I've been waiting forever for you two. Judging by the looks on your faces, are you ready to take your Sub-Zero's exam and graduate from the festival?
Ask away, Miss Nahida.
Okay. First off, have you discovered the hidden truth?
Here we go with this again.
People in Sumeru don't dream. What a strange phenomenon. The moon, illusions, and lies. What do they all mean? All the bizarre spaces I saw outside the city had one thing in common: a lack of human presence. And those spaces remind me of dreams, like the one I had in the Avidia Forest, except these have no sign of human presence.
Keep sorting through them.
I've experienced the Sub-Zero's festival many times, and
No, forget it. Associate truth behind the dreams.
We are all in a dream. It isn't that the people of Sumeru don't dream. Rather, the Akasha is taking their dreams from them.
There we go.
People in Sumeru think they don't dream, but the truth is the Akasha steals their dreams without them knowing it. And those spaces with no human presence are stolen dreams without their host. That would explain why they sounded so weird when he was trying to describe them.
Is that it?
So people in Sumeru do dream after all. In fact, we're all in one big dream together right now.
Correct answer. Now, how did you conclude that the Akasha is capable of this?
I guess we'll
And it grants
quickly interpret.
knowledge to the people. It compiles the wisdom of the entire populace.
That'd be it. But we'll click through the rest just in case.
It is the manifestation of the God of Wisdom's power. The Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to operate.
It compiles the wisdom, which means it could compile more than just wisdom.
That doesn't sound right.
What?
I need to carefully think things through.
Oh,
With
okay.
that conclusion?
Those dream-controlling creatures in the forest also get their power from the Dendro Archon, right? That would explain why the Akasha has the ability to control people's dreams, too. But is stealing everyone's dreams really how the Akasha compiles their wisdom? Isn't there anything more to it than that?
Dreams are fantastical, complex, and full of imagination. People's brains are the most active when they're dreaming. In other words,
Can't concur.
dreams are rich bundles of human wisdom.
Can't concur.
In other words, the complete opposite of how Hypatia understood it. Paimon remembers her saying that the sages think dreams are foolish delusions, and the fact that no one dreams is a blessing from Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. So it was all a dirty trick?
Pretty
The
much.
story is that the sages from the academia are using the Akasha to steal people's dreams for their own use, huh?
Yes, and they don't intend to stop there.
Oh? By the sounds of it, you understand the current situation pretty well. So then, what about the Samsara?
Oh my gosh.
We've already experienced the Sub-Zerus festival many times, and the day of the festival seems to be in a perpetual samsara.
Right here.
The Grand Sage said, "Go celebrate the birth of that god to your heart's content." Did he mean something more?
Appearance and disappearance space.
Those spaces kept disappearing before my eyes. But as soon as that beep sounded, many more spaces materialized.
Appearance and disappearance of dreams.
Those dreamscapes kept vanishing. But as soon as that beep sounded, more new spaces appeared.
Associate. Trigger association.
I can't seem...
I hate this. Mass production of dreams.
Correct. The Akasha is keeping each person's brain in a constant dream state, but also separating their consciousness from their own dream. Their disembodied consciousness is placed inside the collective dream of the Sub-Zerus festival along with everyone else's, while their now vacant dreams are harvested by the Akasha. No one is any the wiser as another day passes in the dream, and so begins another samsara cycle. People wake up to yet another dream about the Sub-Zerus festival. The dreams that belong to them are once again harvested by the Akasha, and so it continues.
So, this is like a dream factory, and the Akasha is a dream harvesting machine. Did Paimon get that analogy right?
Very good, Paimon. Using analogies well is an excellent habit to get into.
Okay, so that beep we keep hearing is actually from our real-life Akasha terminals. Taking off our terminals in this stream doesn't do anything.
Alright, last question. Who am I?
Kusanali. The moon.
They say that alchemical divination is the Dendro Archon's divine revelation. So then, if Nahida has referred to herself as the moon... Now
Let's go
that
through
I
each of
think
these.
about it, wasn't illusions a hint that we're all dreaming? Now that I think about it, wasn't illusions hinting at the sage's deception of Sumeru's people?
So you noticed.
You are Lesser Lord Kusanali.
I thought that one would be the hardest question. That's why I put it last.
I always knew you were Kusanali.
That wasn't hard at all. Even Paimon guessed that. Everything about you is different. We just didn't want to expose you is all. Now that you mention it, Nahida, you've been hinting to us since the very beginning. It's funny. Thinking back to when we were asking all over the place for info about Lesser Lord Kusanali. Paimon didn't expect to meet you like this.
I have a lot of questions for you, but this doesn't seem like a good time.
Yes, those can wait until we're back in real life. On the other hand, I'd be happy to answer any more questions you have about here and now.
Why couldn't you tell us the simple truth?
You asked me this question before. My answer was, it would literally blow your minds. Now that you know this is all a dream, this answer should hopefully make more sense.
Hopefully.
Have you heard the saying, don't wake a sleepwalker? Likewise, if someone suddenly had told you all this instead of you learning it on your own, your notion of reality and dream would be thrown into irreversible confusion. I couldn't expose you to that kind of risk. That's why I could only give you very subtle hints and some suggestions. Long story short, I'm really sorry I had to keep you guessing.
How do the sages manage to keep people from noticing this?
Firstly, this dream we're in is completely based on reality. People have already experienced this Sub-Zero's festival, so it would be very difficult for them to find anything that strikes them as surreal. Secondly, you're probably wondering why people don't have any memories from earlier samsara, right? That's because people don't remember their dreams most of the time anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And in any case, their actual dreams are being taken away from them by the Akasha.
Jerks.
So whenever they wake up in this dream of the Sub-Zero's festival, they don't remember anything from their previous identical dream.
That reminds Paimon. Traveler had a dream when we were in the Avidia Forest, but couldn't see what it was about after waking up. Is that an example of what you mean?
Yes. Only after receiving the blessing of Dendro can a person gain the Dendro element's dream-enhancing power. That explains the feelings of deja vu. Meanwhile,
Deja
everyone
vu?
else has no idea that they are in the Sub-Zero's festival samsara, while their dreams are stolen from them over and over again.
About the side effects of mass-produced dream.
Can humans really keep dreaming forever like this?
No.
Will it ever end? And if so, when?
We might say your mental fatigue has already answered this question. Eventually, there's only so much that people can tolerate. Especially those whose health is compromised to begin with, like Dunyarzad. This relentless exploitation takes an even harder toll on them.
People's lives are at stake here, and nobody knows a thing! We've got to put a stop to this!
Why is it dream about the Sub-Zero festival? Just because they started after
right?
it happened?
Why did they have to base this dream on my birthday? Could it really just be a coincidence?
Maybe they're just trying to ruin it forever in the future?
Wow, now that's strange.
The Academia sages are determined to harvest lots of dreams in a short time, no matter the cost. They have to be up to no good. Unfortunately, I don't know anything about it.
I can tell.
Traveler, do you have any information?
The Grand Sage said, "Go celebrate the birth of that god to your heart's content." Did he mean something more?
I think that's it. But again,
Okay. Nahida said the Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to operate, as it is the manifestation.
no.
Those
This isn't
faces
either.
remind me of dream.
Let's just go with this one.
Celebrate the birth of that god? Could it mean...
Why is this the next thing? I don't have any more questions.
Deceiving the people of Sumeru with no regard for their safety. No matter what they're trying to do, this is unforgivable.
This also means they have your
After
gnosis.
we end the Sub-Zero's festival, Samsara, we have to look into them.
How can the
Which means that
sages
the
of
Fatui probably has something to do with
Academia
this.
do this behind their Archon's back? This is ridiculous!
In the end, I'm just the moon. The real sun is long gone.
A sun and
But the
a
moon reflects the sun.
Nahida's talking in riddles
The moon
again.
reflects the sun. So if they're denying the new moon, they're denying the reflection of the sun.
Oh, we're out of time today.
I'll tell you how to break free of the samsara tomorrow. See you then.
We were starting off right here.
Nahida? Wait. Now that Paimon remembers everything, should we instead say good morning, Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Where's Dunyarzad? What's wrong, Kusanali?
What's wrong, Nahida? You don't look too good.
Where's Dunyarzad?
I'm afraid that what you're thinking right now is correct.
Did Dunyarzad already disappear? No way. Are we too late?
The real Dunyarzad's consciousness has indeed disappeared. It can no longer endure the constant dream harvesting.
Paimon can't believe it. Wait, so what about that other Dunyarzad? Just what is she? Is she also going to disappear?
She's actually something like a puppet, but not completely. The real Dunyarzad's consciousness could no longer keep playing her role in this dream. So another Dunyarzad appeared to replace her in the dream. Just like the grass and the trees, that Dunyarzad is just a building block of the dream that helps to keep it going.
But personality-wise, she's nothing like the real Dunyarzad.
Puppets are stiff, and can't copy a living person's vitality. After all, they're just there as filler. You know,
Like half the
speaking
Naruto
of
episodes.
which, the old Dunyarzad might not have been too different from a puppet.
Dunyarzad truly believed that she met you within her consciousness, and it was you who inspired her. So you do remember her after all.
Yes. Back then, her family was overly protective of her. No one cared about her personality or thoughts. It was as if she only lived to stall her Elazar. I just gave her a little wisdom so she could look at life in a new way. So that she could be her own person. But even so, it still meant a lot to her.
Far
from it. I'm still a long way off from being a real Archon. I couldn't even save her. If I were a competent Archon, I wouldn't have let my most faithful follower die at the Sub-Zero's festival with so many regrets.
Please don't beat yourself up over it, Nahida. It's the sage's fault, and theirs alone.
I'm not beating myself up. All I did was to rationally observe the distance between myself and a real Archon.
Don't be like that, Nahida. Even real Archons are still allowed to be sad.
To prevent more tragedies like this, we must end the samsara as soon as possible.
Great, but how do we do that?
Kill the sages.
Although the Sub-Zero's festival dream is under the Akasha's control, only humans can dream. Even the Akasha is unable to create them. That means this dream belongs to a host who created it.
Who is that?
Huh?
Could that be you?
So, how should we find that person?
Well, if this is someone's dream, then everything here must come from deep within their consciousness. Which means, with the power of imagination, they can change anything in this dream.
Imagination? What do you mean by that?
Imagination means breaking through what you perceive as normal. Like when a server at a tavern brings a plate to you, you'd naturally assume that food is on it. However, if you're the dream's host and you become aware that you're dreaming, when you imagine gold and more on the plate, the dream will respond in kind, and the server really will bring you gold and mora. But right now, our host is unaware that this is a dream. No matter how many times they're served, it will always be food.
So we find the host. Then what?
Find some way to make that person realize that they're dreaming. Usually, once that happens, the person will wake up and the dream samsara will be broken.
How are we going to find them, though? If it could be anyone, it'd be like looking for a needle in a haystack. And even if we did find them, how are we supposed to make them realize they're dreaming? After all, like you said, don't wake a sleepwalker.
It's extremely difficult, yes. But the only ones who can do it are you two. Remember, everything you've achieved up to this point has all been for the sake of finding the host and ending the samsara. As for me, during this time, I'll be out of town.
Out of town? Are you going to that place full of dreams where the traveler went?
Yes. I want to try something. There must still be a small wisp of possibility. Hurry and go. Dreams are supposed to be fantastical, romantic, and full of pleasant surprises. Unnecessary things like this samsara need to end.
Paimon's still a little upset that we've come this far only for Dunyarzad to...
This is essentially the sage is killing her.
With such a simple wish. But fate was against her.
Just feels so demoralized.
Yeah. Saving Dunyarzad is what kept us going this whole time. But
now it'll be
we
revenge.
mustn't lose hope, Traveler. Dunyarzad would definitely want to see us save everyone else. So let's break the samsara for her sake.
I'm down.
Paimon's wondering, do you think the sages would get one of their own to be the host of this stream? Feels like it would be easier to control it that way, no?
Unlikely. Knowing the plan, they'd probably become aware that they were dreaming. An unsuspecting host would be less likely to realize this is a dream.
Huh. That's true. Plus, the sages probably weren't counting on there being other factors beyond their control, like Nahida and us. So, who do you think the host of the dream is?
The one with the strange getup?
Oh, that would make sense. Ferris, the Knight of Flowers, is a symbol of the wholesome Zeru's festival, right? Pretty core character. Let's go ask him some questions, shall we?
Yeah, we'll go ask him some questions. But next time. Then your Zod is gone. You're too late. Hopefully we can finish this and get revenge on those sages next time. So that'll be it for this one. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, when we run our sword through them, because of what they did, deuces.
So I wrote it in the rhyme. The Reverend Doctor got an 8K, wet working. The roaches get the race spray. My weak rhyme, my body, your best verses on game day. I touch the crowns of self-entitled kings. You leave the heat like LeBron when I melt your idols' vital things. This is Malcolm and Martin, Million Man March in Sparta, mixed with a legion of angels surrounding sons and daughters. Simon Peter with a desert eagle, waving it at Caesar. So if I was you, I probably wouldn't mention me either.